Iron. This mineral keeps you alive in a way so fundamental that you rarely think about it. Iron sits at the center of hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen from your lungs to every tissue in your body. Without enough iron, your blood cannot transport oxygen efficiently. Your cells begin to suffocate. The result is iron deficiency anemia, the most common nutritional deficiency on Earth, affecting roughly 2 billion people. You might have it right now and not know it. The symptoms creep in slowly. Crushing fatigue that sleep does not fix. Weakness that makes climbing stairs feel like running a marathon. Pale skin, shortness of breath, difficulty concentrating, as if your brain is wrapped in fog. Many people blame stress or aging when the real culprit is sitting in their bloodstream. Your body cannot make iron. You must get it from food. But not all dietary iron is equal. Hemi-iron comes from animal sources: red meat, poultry, fish. Your body absorbs 15 to 35% of it easily. Non-heme iron comes from plants: spinach, beans, fortified cereals. Your body absorbs only 2 to 20%, making it much harder for vegetarians and vegans to meet their needs. There is a simple trick that dramatically increases plant iron absorption: vitamin C. Drinking orange juice with an iron-rich meal can double or triple absorption. On the other hand, certain compounds block iron. Calcium competes with it. Tannins in tea and coffee bind to it. Drinking tea with your meal can cut iron absorption by more than half. Women need more iron than men because of monthly blood loss during menstruation. Pregnant women need even more because they are building an entirely new blood supply. But iron has a dark side that most minerals do not. Your body has no efficient way to get rid of excess iron. It accumulates in organs and causes damage. A genetic condition called hemochromatosis causes iron overload in about 1 in 200 people of European descent. Taking iron supplements without a diagnosed deficiency can be genuinely harmful. Get tested before you supplement. Calcium. Everyone knows calcium builds bones. Far fewer understand what happens every second in your blood and muscles. About 99% of the calcium in your body is locked in bones and teeth, giving them rigid structure. The remaining 1% circulates in blood and tissues, performing functions so critical that your body will sacrifice bone strength to maintain them. Calcium enables every muscle contraction. Every heartbeat depends on calcium flowing into heart muscle cells to trigger the squeeze. Every step you take, every breath you draw, calcium makes it happen. Calcium allows nerve cells to communicate. It enables blood to clot when you are injured. It helps regulate blood pressure. Your body guards blood calcium levels obsessively, maintaining them within an extremely narrow range. If blood calcium drops even slightly, you experience muscle cramps, spasms, numbness, and tingling. Severe drops cause life-threatening heart rhythm abnormalities. To prevent this, your body will pull calcium directly from your bones. This is why you can be calcium deficient for years without obvious symptoms. Your blood levels look fine because your skeleton is being silently dismantled to keep them there. Decades later, this shows up as osteoporosis, bones so weak they fracture from minor falls. The spine compresses. The hips break. Quality of life collapses. Dairy products are the most concentrated calcium sources, but you can also get calcium from fortified plant milks, canned fish with edible bones, tofu made with calcium sulfate, and leafy greens like kale and bok choy. Spinach deserves special mention because it contains calcium, but also contains oxalates that bind to it and prevent absorption. Despite its healthy reputation, spinach is actually a poor calcium source. Here is what most people miss. Vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption. Without adequate vitamin D, you can drink all the milk you want and still become calcium deficient. This partnership is one of the most important in nutrition. Recent research has complicated the calcium supplement story. Some studies suggest high-dose calcium supplements may increase cardiovascular risk, possibly because they spike blood calcium levels more sharply than food does. Current guidance favors getting calcium from food whenever possible. Magnesium. This might be the most underrated mineral in your body. Magnesium participates in over 300 enzyme reactions, yet most people have never given it a moment's thought. Energy production requires magnesium. Protein synthesis requires magnesium. Muscle and nerve function, blood sugar control, blood pressure regulation, all require magnesium. It helps build bone, synthesize DNA, and transport calcium and potassium across cell membranes. Without adequate magnesium, none of these processes work correctly. Here is the problem. Surveys suggest roughly half of Americans do not consume enough. Modern food processing strips magnesium from grains. Soil depletion has reduced magnesium in vegetables. Stress causes your body to dump magnesium through urine. The result is widespread insufficiency that flies under the radar. Early signs are vague: loss of appetite, nausea, fatigue, weakness. Easy to dismiss, easy to blame on something else. As deficiency deepens, symptoms become harder to ignore: numbness and tingling, muscle cramps and spasms, personality changes, abnormal heart rhythms. In severe cases, seizures. Magnesium deficiency also worsens insulin resistance and has been linked to higher rates of type 2 diabetes. People with digestive diseases, type 2 diabetes, alcohol dependence, and older adults face the highest risk. Food sources include nuts, seeds, whole grains, leafy green vegetables, legumes, and dark chocolate. Here is a useful trick: the greener the leaf, the more magnesium it likely contains. Magnesium sits at the center of chlorophyll, the molecule that makes plants green. If you supplement, know that different forms behave differently. Magnesium citrate absorbs well, but has a laxative effect. Magnesium glycinate absorbs well without digestive issues and may support sleep. Magnesium oxide is cheap but poorly absorbed. High doses of any form can cause diarrhea. The connection between magnesium and mental health has gained serious attention. Low magnesium levels correlate with higher rates of depression and anxiety. Some studies show mood improvements with supplementation. Research is still evolving, but this mineral deserves more attention than it gets. Potassium. Every cell in your body requires this mineral to function. Potassium works with sodium to maintain fluid balance inside and outside your cells, a process so fundamental that life depends on it. Nerve impulses travel because of potassium. Muscles contract because of potassium. Your heart beats in rhythm because of potassium. The relationship between potassium and blood pressure is one of the most important in cardiovascular health. Potassium helps relax blood vessel walls. It helps your kidneys excrete excess sodium. Higher potassium intake is consistently linked to lower blood pressure and reduced stroke risk. And here is where modern life has gone wrong. Our ancestors consumed far more potassium than sodium, perhaps 10 times as much. Today, most people consume far more sodium than potassium. Processed foods are loaded with salt and stripped of the fruits and vegetables that provide potassium. This flip in the natural ratio is a major driver of the high blood pressure epidemic affecting nearly half of all adults. Unlike minerals that your body stores for lean times, potassium must be consumed regularly. Your kidneys regulate levels minute by minute, excreting excess or conserving when intake drops. This system works beautifully in healthy people, but can fail dangerously in those with kidney disease. Both low and high potassium levels can kill you. Low potassium causes muscle weakness, cramps, fatigue, constipation, and in severe cases, fatal heart rhythm disturbances. High potassium causes the same heart problems and can stop the heart entirely. This is why potassium chloride is used in lethal injections. People with kidney disease must monitor intake carefully. For everyone else, the goal is simple: eat more fruits and vegetables. Bananas are famous for potassium, but are not the richest source. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, spinach, beans, tomatoes, oranges, and yogurt all provide substantial amounts. A diet rich in whole plant foods naturally provides abundant potassium while displacing sodium-heavy processed foods. Sodium. No mineral has a more complicated reputation. Sodium is absolutely essential for life. It regulates fluid balance, maintains blood pressure, enables nerve transmission, and allows muscles to contract. Your body cannot function without it. But the amount you need is far less than the amount most people consume. Humans evolved in environments where sodium was scarce. Our bodies became extremely efficient at conserving it. We developed a powerful taste preference for salt, a preference that once helped us survive. Now, surrounded by salty processed foods engineered to exploit that preference, the same craving drives overconsumption. The average American consumes about 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily. The recommended limit is 2,300 milligrams. The amount actually required for survival is around 500 milligrams. We are consuming roughly 7 times what we need. Excess sodium causes the body to retain water. Blood volume increases, blood pressure rises. Over time, elevated blood pressure damages blood vessels, heart, kidneys, and brain. It is a leading cause of heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease. Here is what surprises most people. Only about 10% of dietary sodium comes from the salt shaker. About 75% comes from processed and restaurant foods. Bread, pizza, sandwiches, cold cuts, canned soups, cheese, snack foods. These are the real culprits. Reducing sodium intake requires reading labels and cooking at home, not just avoiding the salt shaker. Some people are more sensitive to sodium's blood pressure effects than others. Older adults, Black Americans, and people with existing high blood pressure tend to be most affected. But reducing sodium benefits most people, not just those already diagnosed with hypertension. The ratio between sodium and potassium may matter as much as absolute sodium intake. Increasing potassium through fruits and vegetables while decreasing sodium from processed foods addresses both sides of this equation. Zinc. This mineral works behind the scenes in ways you never notice until something goes wrong. Zinc is essential for immune function, wound healing, protein synthesis, DNA production, and cell division. It supports growth and development during pregnancy, childhood, and adolescence. It enables your senses of taste and smell. Over 300 enzymes require zinc. More than 2,000 genes depend on it. And yet your body has no specialized storage system for zinc. You need a continuous supply because the small amount in bones and tissues is not easily mobilized. This makes regular intake crucial. Mild zinc deficiency impairs immune function before obvious symptoms appear. You catch colds more frequently. Wounds heal slowly. You might not connect these to zinc for months or years. More severe deficiency causes hair loss, skin lesions, diarrhea, and delayed sexual maturation in adolescence. In children, growth stunts. In pregnant women, birth defects and complications rise. Animal foods provide the most absorbable zinc. Oysters contain more per serving than any other food, not by a small margin, but by an enormous one. Red meat, poultry, crab, and lobster are excellent sources. Plant foods like beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains contain zinc, but phytates in these foods bind zinc and reduce absorption. Vegetarians and vegans may need 50% more zinc than meat eaters to compensate. Zinc lozenges have become popular for shortening colds, and evidence supports modest benefits when taken within 24 hours of symptom onset. However, zinc nasal sprays have permanently destroyed the sense of smell in some users. Avoid them. Chronic excessive zinc intake causes its own problems: copper deficiency, impaired immune function, lowered good cholesterol. The upper limit is 40 milligrams daily, easy to exceed with aggressive supplementation.